happening. Can you see that? No, okay. Baited with banana. You can use several baits, and we just chose banana because they're pretty good for the frugivorous mammals. Of course, if you want to have insectivorous mammals or other species, you need more time, you need like a bigger area, you have to use different baits. So this is just a very, it's not the representation of all small mammals that are out there in the forest, but basically the frugivorous ones. But at least we caught some interesting critters. So here we have a tree shrew on the left, which is one of the very, very common species you find also in the habitat. It's the common tree shrew, Tupaia glis. It was in the traps every single day. The most captures we had was 11 individuals in one day. And it was coming to a point where we said, oh, okay, another tree shrew, let's get it. Then what we did is, after we had an animal in the trap, we had to transfer it into a cloth bag, and then we measured the weight and the size and the hindfoot length. Now this is important for the rat species because some of them, they look really, really similar to each other, and you can't just really ID them only by the ratio of the head body length to tail length, because coloration, weight and so on is pretty much similar between species. So this is me and a very cute chestnut belly rat. Before of course we leave them free, they can just escape after our really, really cruel treatment. But I think at least I enjoyed it for this time. Okay, there's a very short, again, summary of some of the species. So we have the tree shrew in the trap, and then to the right, the chestnut rat. Actually, we also had really beautiful long-tailed giant rats, where I lost the picture. And then there's a gray tree rat, which is pretty rare actually. We all were quite surprised when we had it in the trap, like really cute. And then to the right below there is a 3-striped round squirrel, and doesn't show the face, but you can really distinguish it by the 3 black stripes. Now, we also had camera traps. Again, I don't have the pictures, but what we had on the cameras was mouse deer. And I don't know how many of you are familiar with the mouse deer, but they are pretty cute, and they're really just like that small. And so there's 2 species actually. We have the lesser and the greater mouse deer, but from the recording on the cameras we couldn't quite identify which species it was. And actually had 2 videos, and I personally think we have 2 species recorded, but I don't know, we need more proof. Just for the small mammal capture, I would really like to thank all of you guys who were with me in the forest. Susan and Samri and Sue and Isa and Priscilla and Javan and everyone. I mean, it was hard work in rain, getting peed on by all the small mammals. I have scratches all over actually. But I think everyone quite enjoyed it, and I think in order to get like a good representation also of the biodiversity that we have there in the forest, this would be a great thing to continue. Not just doing like 10 days and just using one bait and one area. Yeah, that was at Monyo, I think everybody knows. But really going to set up more traps, different baits, different areas, different heights, because there's, I think, so much more. Sorry, I think there's so much more actually out there. So addressing ground mammals with the live cage traps and the camera traps is one thing. It doesn't cover the whole biodiversity. The next step is, of course, canopy, and what we have found in the canopy. Kevin will tell us.
Thank you. Yeah, so Bryson and I have been setting up camera traps up in the canopy of the forest over the BioBlitz. We had 10 cameras in 5 different trees, all different species, including one that sent Wendy and Bryson to the doctor. So they braved the dangerous tree, but it actually turned out to be the most productive tree for us. In general, so we had the traps out for a total of 52 trap nights. and we recorded 59 motion events. So sometimes animals are hanging out in front of the camera for an hour, and that still only counts as one motion event. So the plantain squirrels were our most common species on the cameras up there, as you would expect. But we got some great photos of some of the other primates as well during the day. This is a long-tailed macaque that you guys are all very familiar with, I'm sure. We also got some nice photos of the dusky leaf monkeys as well there. And some of the most exciting stuff came at night. We got some great photos of the red giant flying squirrels. So you can see on the left there. On the bottom left one, he's just jumping off of the branch. And the gray tree rat that Nadine had talked about. I thought I had to check with her to make sure it was an interesting rat, not just a normal rat. And I was very excited about it until she said she had already caught one that morning, so she beat me to it. And then the palm civets as well. This is interesting because palm civets, they wean at 2 months, and then the babies are with the mom for only 1 month before they go off on their own. So we happened to catch this family of palm civets as they were coming through before the babies have left the mom. So I will turn it over to Priscilla.
Hi, so for me it will be quick because there's not a lot of nocturnal mammal species. But on Penang Hill we have the civets, we have the colugos, for some of you came with me. We also have the giant flying squirrel, and I'm still looking for the sloloris, but hopefully in the future I will find it. I know it's there, but we didn't have any record or we didn't see them that time. So first of all, I want to speak about the colugos. So they are not really well known gliding mammals because they're really hard to see in the forest, but because of the technique I use, I can see them almost every night. So they're really common. They're not really endangered, but they're so different from every other animal by their adaptation and evolution that they're really important to keep. And so this is just a few pictures that we saw during the night. And we also have an amazing discovery about them, that they use ultrasound to communicate, like bats. And these have never ever been recorded before in the world. So, and the first record actually in the habitat. So this is great. And this is the sound, so we slow down for everyone to hear the ultrasound. Yeah. So it makes sense that they actually use them because like other...
Has everybody heard it? I think just play it again.
And also here you can see the calls actually on the slide. So just for you guys to know, it's at 37.7 kilohertz, so it's really lower than the bats. But we know also that sloloris and tarsier also use ultrasound, so they are really closely related nocturnal mammals, so it makes sense that the colugo actually use them also. And just for information, for the sloloris, the calls for the Javan one is at 42 kilohertz from a study last year that is not yet published. So it's really interesting, and we know they use only one course, but we need to record more about all the different calls that they make in the audible sound. So this is kind of a new research that we will be looking through it in the future.
Can I just say something? So I think it's amazing what this BioBlitz has actually accomplished, is bringing all the scientists together. But this is one of the examples where this teamwork brings unexpected new findings, because Priscilla was out at night with our BED team, with Dr. Ayn and Dr. Sim. And just because they are out at night and the BED team brought the ultrasound recorders and she brought the thermal camera, then they were like, oh, something is happening, look at this. I mean, that's amazing. So thanks for the BED team for all, your equipment and great help and support. And yeah, I mean, I think we hear more about this story hopefully soon. So there's more to find out.
Yeah, just for information, we made a great video with the Jason team. So hopefully when we actually publish all the discovery, we will have also a great video for you guys to see how we actually recorded it. So yeah, thank you the BAT team for your help, because that was amazing to find that. Yeah, we also see a lot of red giant flying squirrel. So around the habitat we saw like 5 of them. So they're not really rare, but they're quite hard to see. So here you can see one of them eating leaves. So like that we can also study their diet a bit more, because there's not, I think, a lot of study on them. So it's also really interesting. And also their nesting sites. So on the other side you can see, so there is a big tree with the fern, and they actually sleep, roll in it. So it's really interesting because that's kind of first behavior we know about them. And also we recorded the tree rat, like Nadine was saying, just because it's really cute. And also the civets, so we saw a few common palm civets, but actually we saw more giant flying squirrel than the civets. So that was also really interesting for us.
Yeah. And thanks a lot, Priscilla. I mean, first of all, using the technology, but having this passion also to go there, you know, go out at night as a girl or by herself, mostly. That's just really amazing. So I just want to wrap up what for the Mammals team. What we have found is actually, I was just browsing, oh my god, through the IUCN distribution map on the internet, because I thought most of these species are pretty common and they must have been recorded for Penang, because, I mean, if you're working in the field, they are not like, wow, this is a new discovery, they're pretty common species. But what I have found, we have actually 8 new records for Penang. So all these highlighted in red, they are not listed in the IUCN distribution map that I can get online. So, which is actually, I think, pretty good. So we have the before and after BioBlitz comparison that we wanted to, you know, achieve or accomplish. And okay, thanks to all you guys. And I think I had a last slide, it's actually gone again, don't worry. Okay, thank you everybody, and just make who you want to follow up.